grab this book for just a moment.
Hey there. Today we will be discussing the book Dollhouse by Henrik Ibsen. Dollhouse is about the awakening of Nora Helmer from a previously unexamined life of domestic, wifely comfort, she having been ruled her whole life by either her father or her husband, Torvald. Nora finally comes to question the foundation of everything she has believed in once her marriage is put to test. Having borrowed money from a man of ill reputed named Krogstad by forging her father's signature, she was able to pay for a trip to Italy to save her sick husband's life. He was unaware of the loan, believing that the money came from Nora's father. Since then, she has had contrived ways to pay back her loan, growing particularly concerned with money and the ways of a complex world. When the play opens, it is Christmas Eve, and we find that Torvald has just been promoted to manager of the bank, where he will receive a huge wage and be extremely powerful. Nora is thrilled because she thinks that she will finally be able to pay off the loan and be rid of it. Her happiness, however, is marred when an angry Krogstad approaches her. He has just learned that his position at the bank has been promised to Mrs. Lind, an old school friend of Nora's who has recently arrived in town in search of work, and he tells Nora that he will reveal her secret if she does not persuade her husband to let him keep his position. Nora tries to convince Torvald, but she is unsuccessful. Nora becomes very worried. Nora, seeing Torvald's true character for the first time, sits her husband down to tell him that she is leaving him. She tells him that, given the suffocating life she has led until now, she owes it to herself to become fully independent and to explore her own character and the world for herself. As she leaves, she reveals to Torvald that she hopes a miracle might occur, that one day, they may be able to unite in real wedlock. The play ends with the door slamming on her way out. Ibsen's playwright was a critique of the morality of the time. A noteworthy instance in Dollhouse is about a housewife and mother of three who has been taking deceptive means to support her family. Her husband treated her as a child in a big toy house, a dollhouse. Nora always expecting miracle. For instance, she was expecting her husband to learn of how great sacrifice she had made all on account of love. The other miracle she had hoped won't be revealed was her forgery, as Krogstad warns to inform her husband about the fraud. Why do we need to know all about these old-century playwright? I believe what we have known as we see it is the literature that passes down from generation to generation, while depicting the social, economic, and political aspect of that particular society. Therefore, even if the story is unacceptable to today's world, and of course is, but we have an obligation to preserve and pass it on to the next generation. In What Does a Doll's House Explore Social Issue? A Doll's House shines searchlight on Victorian society, drawing attention to its hypocrisy and use of public opinion to subvert individuality. Torvald lives by society norms. When faced with a choice of whether to support his wife or the society, why is Doll's House considered a landmark in genre called realism? The answer is, before realistic plays such as A Doll's House burst upon the scene, most European theater fell into one of the genre, Romanism played role or noble character heroic tragedies. The acting was styled declamatory and unrealistic. This will be a comparison of the Henrik Ibsen plays in the genre which the play Dollhouse falls under. There are some great similarities in the play Dollhouse and Susan Glospell's Trifles. In both of the main female roles, although these two women share different paths of the life they live, they both end up in similar situations resulting in similar endings. They are found out to be the victims of the everyday normal settings and seek individuality, which may be a difficult choice and leads them to end up alone at the end of the plays. Their goals to be independent and free from the burdens they carry may be risky, but that is the chance they are willing to take and make work by any and every means necessary. Another comparison is between the play Dollhouse and The Enemy of the People, both written by Henrik Ibsen. In these plays, the underlying theme becomes similar in ways in which they show how individuals deter social standings from what the norm is and try to elevate towards something greater than what is presented and has been the same for years. Henrik Ibsen has a sort of flair that carries throughout mostly all his works. I think Erik's work reflected himself, as he was also rejected from the Norwegian theater and decided to branch out on his own and start something unexpected that has now grown into something world-renowned. He didn't let the no from people to steer him away from what he envisioned for himself, and strive for what has now become his life work.